Okay, let's preface this video title. You can make many mistakes on the AP Computer Science A exam. I consider these mistakes easy points, you know, that can be left on the table and mistakes that you should not be making in the springtime, coming out of any APCSA course. So let's get started. Number one, not supplying a method header name signature when required. Now, for the vast majority of items on the AP exam, you will be supplied with method headers that you are to use, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Here's an item from 2015. I could literally go to any of the past free response questions, and where you have to supply your own method header name signature. Here we have to supply a method contains. So we have our method name here given to us. We have to use it, but then we must create the method header. We have clues. We have a parameter coming in as an integer, and we have return as Boolean return type. So all of the clues are there for you to write this method header name signature correctly. Okay, so please, 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 if no method header is supplied, then you have to take on that responsibility. Those are points you want. You don't want to leave those points on the table. Number two, is the method a static or class method, or is it an instance method? All right, so going back to that same example, up here, you're going to see some keywords. You're going to see objects. That's not a dead giveaway. You're going to see classes working with other classes, potentially an object class. We call that an implementation class as well. But the key here, we have some instance variables. Okay, that is your dead. To me, that's the giveaway. You're writing an instance method. You're not necessarily writing a static method here. I'm not telling you that if you supplied a static method that you're going to not receive points. I'm saying that this would be easy points that you don't want to leave on the table just in case, right? Look for clues as to whether you're writing a static method or an instance method. And by the way, before I leave, a static method is the same as a class method. Those two names are synonymous. Okay, now this one I consider a fatal mistake because this is more than a 1-point giveaway. You may be leaving all of the points on the table for a mistake like this. This is fatal. Changing a given method header name signature to suit your proposed solution. Let's take a look. Same exam going up to here. We are given a method header, right? Lots of information there that's telling us what we need to do. Do not change this method header name and signature. You must use this exactly. Most of you should know by now, just the fact that they've supplied this gives away a lot of what you need to do. Do not change any part of this to fit your proposed solution. You are supposed to write to this method header name signature. You're not supposed to supply your own in this instance. And by the way, the vast majority of the exam, they will give you the header, your name and signature. You only need to really look out for supplying your own here and there, but you will be given many of these to write to. Okay, this one is not a fatal mistake to make, but it could lead to not earning a couple of points on the rubric. So we have printing when you should be returning data. I see this mistake a lot. So same method header, we have a Boolean return type. Okay, so you must return the Boolean. If you are adding in a print statement, why? You know, it may not hurt you, okay? But you need to be, the result of this method is returning a Boolean. So don't go out to change your return type to then to output, to the screen. That's not, that you're going to lose points. You're going to not obtain points that are on the rubric. Okay, again, number 5, not a fatal mistake, but there will be unrealized points, maybe 1 or 2, possibly 3, for this particular mistake. Returning data with a void return type. I have an example of that from the same exam. You're supplying a remove column method with a void return type, okay? Do not return information with a void return type. That's going to, I can see that getting a mistake that could cost you at least a couple of points, possibly, because this particular method is going to end in you removing something right from an array, and it's not to be returned. You're just changing the state of the data, right? So it could ask you to print. This could be an opportunity to print if it asks you to print, but it's not asking you to print. It's asking you to change the state of a particular array, and then you're done. Okay? Do not return information. There's no need to print here as well. They're not asking for you to print. Okay, this mistake number 6, this is probably a 1-pointer on the rubric. This is a small mistake, but you don't want to leave the point on the, on the table. If asked to write a program or a class, entire program or entire class, then supply the class header and name. We have an example from the same exam. So you can see every exam is going to contain all of these elements. That's why they're so important. Here we have highlighted, write the complete range class, and they're not giving you, the class, header and name. So you have to say, public class range. Okay, you have to do that. That's possibly a point on the rubric, because the College Board also releases, they release the rubrics for these free response questions as well, and you will see on almost every rubric a point for, header name. They'll just say header. I say header name and signature. No, that's the whole thing. They'll just say header, but they mean all parts of the header. Okay, so I'm just being a lot more specific. But yeah, don't leave that off. It could be potentially a point, and if you can see, if you're doing this repeatedly throughout the whole exam, you're leaving significant points on the table. Okay, so just to wrap back up, going back up, right? Supply a class name when one is not given. Yeah, if you have a void return type, then check to see what it is the method is supposed to do. Don't return data, right? Print if asked to print or required to print. Printing when you should be returning data. This is a no-no. If you have a return type in the method header, then you should be returning data. Right? Changing a given method name signature to suit your proposed solution. This is fatal. Okay. And paying attention. Am I writing a static or class method, or am I writing an instance method? And not supplying a method header name and signature when one is required. So these add up to lots of points that you could possibly leave on the table. I hope this helps.